fans and YouTubers? It's that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you. Whew! Are we all calmed down a little bit from the excitement yesterday? I mean, when that Dak news broke, everybody was on it. I tell you what, boy, I've never seen so many Cowboy fans emotional since the Super Bowl era, the 90s. I mean, we've had our players, pet cats here and there that not everybody agreed on, but a lot of us real fans know that it was best to just get Dak's deal done long term than franchise tagging or tag and trade or just letting him walk like all these other people said. It just felt good that this 3-year-long BS is finally over, And it worked out for everybody. I'll tell you, it's win-win. I mean, Cowboys get that long-term deal. They stretch out some of that money, so it's not seriously crippling the cap or anything, even though I think this year will be the only year that's really affected by COVID. Because you'll probably have more fans in the stands. The TV rights are getting worked on, so that's going to boom. And, you're getting that 17th game, so that's even more income. So it's not like 2022 offseason was going to still be, we don't have that much money as an NFL as a whole, and we got to postpone putting out salary cap figures and all that. It should look a bit better. Now, everybody's emotional about it. Everybody's happy about it, at least the organization and Dak. They've worked long and hard for this. Todd France has finally got his big one, through all his clients that he took with him. And, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what people said it would be, and it's exactly what the haters said it shouldn't be. Basically, he got all the money, $160 million, $164 with incentives. Okay, great. He's got the first year $75 million, but $66 million of it is going to be a signing bonus. So his cap hit this year is going to be like, what, 15 million or so? 15, 20, something like that. So the cap figure is now a whole lot better than if he was tagged at 37, You're saving, what, 11.5 on the cap? So, no, 15. Yeah. About 15 on the cap this year. And with the signing bonus, it's the most money any player has gotten. So he's gotten more than Russ, guaranteed. The first 3 years of the deal are going to average out to about $42 million. So he's right behind Pat Mahomes and a little over Deshaun. So that worked out like people said. It's really like 6 years with 2 years voided. So, even though they can BS it any way they want, if they want to extend him later, it's just going to go into that TV money, and they're both just going to come back to renegotiating after 3 years anyway. It's everything that he basically wanted. It's what the the Dak fans really wanted. You got your starting quarterback for the future. More than likely his whole career, because he'll only be 31 when this deal is up. And now we can finally start working on everything around him like they claim they need the money to do, right? And I don't believe them at all when they say that, because unless they go out here and go for 1 or 2 big free agent names, then they're full of it. They're just going to go out and get like 10 scrubs off the bargain bin like they always do, and none of them will stick. So that's the front office's problem. They paid their quarterback, so their offense is set. I've seen people say get Kyle Pitts in the draft at number 10. I really don't see why. I mean, people are saying they're not throwing shade at Jarwin and Schultz, but they're throwing shade at Jarwin and Schultz, saying they're not good enough as Kyle Pitts. Fine, he's an athletic freak. That's great. But are you really going to bypass the problems of last year on defense to just get another guy for a red zone threat? Have you seen our offense? A lot of times we're not even getting into the red zone. So what would a red zone threat be if he can't even get on the field to get into the end zone? That's kind of a waste of time. We just need that defense, man. But, you know, I don't want to hate on anybody who wants to take Kyle Pitts at number 10. He's a beast. I mean, he's going to be that great tight end for the future. And I think the Eagles are more than likely going to pick him up, if not a wide receiver, because they're at need of those positions. But all around, we're happy. We finally got what we've been needing all this time, a steady quarterback now for the next 4 years that we know he's established, and we can work from there. What else I was going to say? Some other news running around out there. Sean Lee, we still don't know his status. He's taking his time, to which is afforded him. But we sooner or later we're going to have to know, because more than likely we are going to have to look at linebacker in the draft or free agency. LP Ledacre looks like he wants to stick around for another year, so you're probably going to look at another 1-year deal like he's been doing the last couple years on that. Center position, Joe Looney. Hopefully he can come back. I like him as a backup, if not an emergency starter at all inner positions. I've seen the talk of Zach Martin's brother at center. They let him go because he's not that good. So it wouldn't be wise to get somebody not that good and put him right there with a second-year guy who's trying to work his way up, right? I've seen the talk about a trade for the center at Green Bay. I'm not trying to give up trade capital for another player like that when you already got one who could be your potential future center, and hopefully a guy who could be brought back on the cheap. No point in using picks to go trade for anything like that. Let's see. I'm just I'm just still so happy for this transaction to finally come to an end after so many years. Tad's happy, you know, putting it on Twitter and everything, hugging his brother when the news came through finally. I mean, Dak's been in the building, working out this whole off season, so it's not like they didn't see him on the property. So they knew what was up. All the hate that says his ankle was going to be not good anymore, and, you know, trying to make excuses to not pay the guy, it just didn't work. Ain't nobody want to hear all that noise, and it's worked out. I've seen people congratulating him for his patience during this whole process, which I applaud too. You didn't see him directly or anybody in his camp making these demands. It was just stuff filtered out from sources, and it's not coming from him or his people. So we don't know who these so-called sources are that were making up a lot of these numbers, but it turns out that a lot of the numbers were true. So take it with a grain of salt. I did want to mention that I've mentioned it before, that this is kind of like quarterbacks trying to be like NBA players. They're trying to throw their weight around, muscle into deals, get themselves out of town if they have to, change teams, and they're trying to exert that NBA kind of weight. They don't have it. But Dak had all the leverage, and everybody knew he had the leverage this offseason. So he had the NBA type leverage to make these kind of demands. But Deshaun and Russell, they're big names. They're stars of their teams, but in negotiations right now for them, I don't think they have that kind of power to call an audible on, I want to be involved in personnel decisions and coaching decisions, and if you don't do what I'll say, I'm out kind of deal. It's just not happening. They don't have that kind of pull. Ownership still owns too much power in the NFL for players to do that kind of thing. It's trying. They're trying. I give them credit for trying. They're trying to be that kind of thing where, we players should matter more than what the NFL owners are doing. But it's a long road to hoe for the NFL. And we've already seen examples that they're not even close to how the NBA works. So, take it like you will. But I don't want to bore y'all much more about this. This is over 10-minute video. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there. Dak's finally signed. How about them Cowboys? VA Dallas Cowboy fan, out.